街で見るいつもの新聞いつものテレビどこ行ってもすぐそこに心ハムスルーでどこ行ってもすぐそこに笑顔あふれてるいつだって、yeah、途方に暮れて迷っても君を待つ家の光いつだってラララララ
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Game Night Podcast, the second episode in the Seattle Chronicles. At this point in
Seattle.
time,
Hold on, Seattle Chronicles. I like that shit.
can we get a intro sequence right now that says Seattle Chronicles? So we are here with our second episode, live all together in Seattle. We just got back from brunch, which was very, very good. It was
Delicious.
CJ's Eatery, correct? That was the name of the place?
Highly recommend if you're ever in the area, check them out.
Yeah.
I got really strong mimosas.
very strong mimosas.
I'm kind of drunk.
I was definitely drunk at the restaurant. I've leveled out at this point. I'm feeling good.
I haven't.
I'm
I weigh 3 pounds.
I'm feeling
I
real
felt
good.
pretty solid. I drank twice as much as everybody
You did.
else. And
You did.
you were alright.
But,
CJ's Eatery was very good. Also,
you-
my first time ever having brunch.
Really?
First time it's ever been called a brunch. I'm sure I just ate breakfast food later in the day.
Yeah.
But
That's essentially all brunch really is.
I had lunch. I had a burger.
Well, did you guys end up doing the split thing with the...
No, we ate the.
Shit got wild.
they were
was-
originally going to
it
go
was
half and half
good.
and kind of switch between a burger and some biscuits and gravy.
We
but it
shared
didn't turn out
bites.
like that.
Shared bites.
Shared bites.
Me and Danny both got
Traumatizing, honestly.
French toast, which came with a really good selection of fresh fruit, including a slice of fucking watermelon.
That watermelon was probably the best watermelon I've ever had in my entire life.
Really,
It was
really
so
good.
juicy and so
really,
fresh.
really good.
But that French toast was delicious. You tried the French toast.
Yeah, it was
You-
good.
It was really. That was really
It
good.
was
French
very
toast. So
light, very fluffy, crunchy on the outside.
I would say for our first meal here in Seattle, at a local
Yeah,
restaurant,
because we just had Domino's last night.
that was a pretty good. Well, yeah, it was also late. We did.
Yeah.
But it was a local Domino's.
It was a local Domino's.
Local
like
Domino's.
2 blocks away, in
They
fact.
delivered it on a bike.
Yeah.
And it
so
was really good. Some of the best Domino's
it
I've ever
fucking
had.
slapped, and then we went and smoked weed and passed out. It was a good time.
By the beach.
By the beach. By the beach, which is probably what we're going to do after this podcast, actually. Not the pass out part, but go smoke weed by the beach.
Not all of us, so of course.
So, in the last episode, we didn't really get a chance to talk about our travel experiences getting to Seattle.
Yeah, we're too busy talking about sucking dick.
Yeah, we were too busy talking about sucking dick, and we had some interesting travel experiences. I'll say, so I came from Iowa to Phoenix to meet up with the Phoenix boys here.
Phoenix boys, where you at?
And then we flew to, dude, we flew to Seattle via Phoenix.
Get him some bread.
My flight to Phoenix was fine, no issues there. But
Flight to Seattle.
the flight to Seattle was a little rough. We had some turbulence. I think Gage probably had it the roughest out of any of us, though.
Sat down like within the first 15 minutes. I found Ford versus Ferrari. It was a pretty good movie. I only had to watch it with the captions on, but halfway through I started death grip in my own hands. I was white knuckling it, and then I started walking towards the bathroom. I think every single person looking at me down that aisle had a feeling what was going on, if you could see my face. But
Yeah, it looked a little something like this.
it's a little foul. But I make it back to this bathroom, and I just let out a little burp, and I ended up gagging really loudly. And
It's like
yeah, it made me really scared to throw up in there because I thought I was gonna get like kicked off the plane halfway through the flight.
They
somehow.
throw him out the
Yeah,
plane.
they're like, yeah, we got to
Give him a parachute.
Yeah.
Good luck,
I was
man.
kind of scared. So that happened, and then I didn't end up throwing up, and I went back to the same bathroom again, like probably 30 minutes later. It was only a 2.5 hour flight, but I almost lost it completely.
Probably about 3 times.
And then when we landed,
Even
he
before
thus
we got on.
discovered the barf bag.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a barf bag on the plane, but it's like behind all the pamphlets and shit. And if I knew that was there, I would have already had it like extended and ready.
ready to.
Which would have
fucking
really
go.
concerned the people around me.
I was like, the people next to you would have been like, please don't.
You're like, I don't fly often.
I don't do this.
I don't do this often. I do
I
this.
think the flight attendants go over that before, everybody gets...
Yeah, but my headphones are way in at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I am way gone by that point. But yeah, our flight, besides Gage almost throwing up about 3 times, it was alright. There was a little turbulence here and there, but the landing, this pilot landed so quick. Like, the ground was just there, and we were still probably moving like 150 to 200 miles an hour, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. And we hit the ground hard.
I think we literally like bounced.
Like a little
off the
bounce,
floor.
yeah. It felt
Yeah,
Like,
it was like
we
we had a little bit of
came in so fast. We were
boom.
like, boom.
But he didn't bottom out though.
No, he
No.
was good. Like, he was a good pilot.
He just came in really
controlled it
fast.
really well.
Dude, stop.
But he hit that ground. That was easily the fastest I've moved on land.
pretty
Easily.
good.
Any car I've driven that was put to shame.
He could have pulled up again. We could have taken
we could have
off.
retaken off. Easily.
But
Yeah.
how was your guys' flight?
Well, just for reference, the way that I even got to the airport, because I live in like the fucking southeast
A town
US.
village.
Yeah, I live in a shitty little village. So I had to meet Jordan like halfway, and then we drove to Chicago to go to the airport. Which, drive there was mostly fine. We just met in a Walmart parking lot, and then, just drove the rest of
Not
the way to
sketchy.
Chicago. We made it there pretty early. We had some pretty good time on the drive. And things were mostly uneventful until, like, the flight. Where, first of all, person in front of me, super reclined back, not wearing their mask like we're supposed to. The rest of us were wearing it the whole flight. They, at the end, the flight attendant had to say, hey, put your mask on, to him.
The fuck?
What's your problem, bro?
And they also refused to, re-incline their seat at the end of the flight. So, like, we're about to get out. And this person is, like, leaned all the way back, like, on my knees. And, like, we're about to be getting out here in a second. Whatever. So I had to watch...
the back of his neck.
I had to watch Joker, like God intended, on a tilted, cropped 4x3 little fucking airplane, like, fucking screen. And because, it's reclined down, the colors are off, I couldn't fucking turn the captions on, I'm listening through my earbuds, and, like, the audio was fucked up, and, like, the audio channels were, like, mixed up. The scene where he dances down the stairs sounded like garbled fucking trash. It was awful. Still a good movie, though.
Still a good movie.
And the entire time I was trying to sleep as well before I just turned on Joker.
Yeah, because you had what, 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep?
Yeah, I didn't sleep at all the day before because I was too excited. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll try to sleep
And you
in
had
the
to
car.
leave at
Couldn't
like
sleep.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and I left at like 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when I
Which
started
is
driving
roughly the
towards
time
Joker.
we usually get off Discord. Like,
Yeah. So, I had been up for a bit. I was going on 24 hours, no sleep, just trying to sleep on the plane. And, like, every 10 minutes, I'd fall asleep for, like, 10 minutes. And then I'd wake up. And I'm like, oh, my God, why can't I breathe? Because I have the fucking face mask on, and I'm freaking out. And the plane was dark, so I don't know where the fuck I am. And I would just instinctually, like, open up the window real quick and be like, okay, cool, we're still in the air. Things are fine.
we're
I'm still inside a plane.
So, eventually, I just clocked out. I was like, fuck it, I'll just watch Joker in the worst way possible.
I tried to nap on the plane. It didn't work out too well.
Yeah, I think on my first flight I slept for like
Probably
30
fell asleep
minutes
for
or
like...
something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably fell asleep for like maybe 30 minutes.
But on the flight to Seattle, I was pretty good and awake. Tony had bought me a coffee right before we got on the plane, so I was feeling all right.
I'm really glad that I downloaded like 2 or 3 books because like I have movies downloaded and they weren't loading.
Oof, rough.
So I read Percy Jackson and the Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief on the
Dude,
book-
I
on the
honestly
plane.
thought that was a text message. And I was like praying for you. I was like, I thought he was reading like a text message that he got before the flight.
Oh no!
I was like, uh-oh.
Percy Jackson.
No,
It was just Percy Jackson.
He was like, he's staring at his phone a long time. No,
Because
I was on my
putting
Kindle.
on my Switch. I kept on like looking back at him. I was like, I wonder how he's doing. He's just sitting there just.
You know
Just
that bitch
scrolling.
toxic if she's
Like,
sending
uh-oh.
novels.
She sends a whole fucking 200-page now.
A whole
You just get
Percy
a
Jackson.
Google Drive link to a PDF of her response.
Here's my reply.
I was like, I'm just
God.
praying
Yeah,
for
no,
him.
nope. It was Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
I
on
went
Kindle.
ahead and shelled out the $16 for the in-flight Wi-Fi.
I thought about it, but I was like, nah. I was like, Apple Music is already free with American, so
Yeah,
I was like,
my,
I have access to that.
My plan was, I was a little bit further back than the rest of the boys, so I was just gonna airdrop them memes the whole time. They were not close enough, but several iPhones were close enough. So what I did pretty much the whole flight was I was just airdropping random people memes.
What
And
kind of
then-
memes?
Not good ones.
They all probably fucking loaded as soon as they...
Yeah, I'm
Got
sure
it.
most of them didn't load until they hit the actual ground, and then they just got like 4 airdrop requests.
That probably seemed like malicious as fuck. Like I'm probably sure a couple of people like started looking at their phones like, what the hell? Why did I get 6 memes?
Everybody's phone on the plane just pops up with a drop request.
Yeah.
What the fuck
And
is
so
Is that an
I-
Amber Alert already?
Check
No,
check out the GameNight Podcast.
Yeah, I just sent like.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That would we
That
should
would've
download
been-
a
I
picture that says
should've,
check out the
but
GameNight Podcast.
You
and
know
then just airdrop to
the
everybody on
the
plane.
Schlatt meme I send that's like, gay called, it's for you. I sent that to everybody.
Oh my god.
Love that one.
And then the meme where it's like it's fucking Riley from the Boondocks and he's with Seto Kaiba. I sent that
blows
meme
out.
to everybody. It was pretty much all offensive memes now that I'm thinking about it. I might not be back on the return flight. They might confiscate my phone.
They're just not gonna offer you Wi-Fi.
They're like, you can't buy Wi-Fi anymore, okay?
It's gonna be like
man.
back in middle
I'm
school
just
where they hold your
enforcing
phone.
my rights as a consumer.
Yeah.
I had one class in high school where you had to put your phone in the basket in front of the class.
Oh, I never had that.
The teacher's insane.
Our teachers were, our students were all fucking hooligans.
But it was funny
so a
'cause
teacher
every-
would've gotten
every-
boxed out if they tried
Every
that.
3 or 4 minutes, you just hear.
I would have put a vibrator in there.
Oh, that would be so
Hilarious.
good.
They're just like, put your phone in here, just whip out a fucking fat
One of those,
12-inch vibrator.
just one of those little bullets.
No, I want it to be obscure and obscene.
Sticking out the top.
Yeah, suction cup it to the bottom of the fucking basket.
I think the next
We
in
go to grab it
person.
later,
This
just
is.
dumps all the phones on the
I
floor.
think
Yeah.
the next in person podcast we do, we all need to take a mold of our penis, and just put it right next to each other, so
We
everyone
couldn't
just
do that on
knows
screen.
Like pecking order?
how big our dicks are in comparison. It's just
Or we should
that's
put them all in like a hat or something, and we have to draw one and guess whose it is.
That was
That's
gonna be. That was gonna be.
my idea was we all take very accurate dick sizes, no lying. We put it in a hat, and then we draw it, and then the person you draw, you have to get the size tattooed somewhere.
Hell no.
So no, not like super like obvious or anything. You just get like a 6.3 inches somewhere on your
Can we
leg.
put he's?
You could if you wanted to.
He's 6'3".
Yeah. And you never have to explain it to anybody. You can.
You
come
just have
up
to
with a
put like
lie.
the number on there,
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
the
yeah.
actual size.
No, like the number.
Just a number.
Yeah.
So you just have like a 7.2 or like a 6.3 or
Hope we
something.
trade penises, Cage.
Reminds me of the best Tinder bio I ever saw, where a dude it just said 6 foot 6 inches, and then parentheses 2 separate measurements. It's
So,
really good.
anyways, I'll talk about my part of the flight. So overall, drive there was good.
Yeah, you were like in 5 different states in one day.
Yeah, so I live in Illinois, and I went over to Indiana, stayed with a friend, and went a little bit deeper in Indiana, picked up Tanner. We drove back into Illinois to Chicago, flew out, and then eventually landed in Seattle. So I was in all the time zones in America yesterday, which is kind of dope to think about. But anyways, watched
You're
19...
time traveling.
Yeah, I basically could have hit a portal at some point and traveled through time. But watched the movie 1917 on the flight. Pretty good movie. I actually beat the game 2048.
So that was played.
Yeah, so I played a bunch of different ones. I actually beat that, so I was like, all right, cool. I was like,
I played Danny in
It's good.
Battleship once, and he cheated. So
I didn't
was playing.
cheat.
I was going ham in
That was such a
2048.
close game.
That's what I'm saying. I was winning the whole game, and then out of nowhere, he just comes and slaughters me.
It's
You
the
cheated.
it's the tactics, people.
yeah.
But then I tried to play, and then the freaking pilot made an announcement,
Yeah,
and I
and-
cut it off.
Right.
And then I was sitting there spinning for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like,
was just like,
"Fuck
okay,
this, we're
never
not gonna
mind.
get-
Yeah.
We're not gonna get reconnected.
So then the most eventful part of the flight was whenever we were starting to land. So apparently I had been having some sinus issues that caused like just some blockage in my head. So once we started descending, like the pressure was not like
Friendly.
yeah, air was not flowing through my sinuses like it was supposed to, and it caused the most immense pain. Like felt like daggers stabbing in my forehead. Like literally my eyes were tearing up, and I was like I was just like trying to look away, so like people didn't like look at me, and I'm like, what is going on? I was like trying to figure it out.
And I could
Finally,
tell that there was something up with
Like,
him,
yeah,
just
I was
because,
hurt.
like, I could see him, like, kind of freaking out, like, grabbing his forehead, and then, like, the second we touched the ground, I see him open up Google, like, stabbing pain in forehead while landing plane.
Yeah, I was like trying to figure it out, and I finally figured it out. And it's something called aerosinusitis, which is basically what I explained.
When your body doesn't adjust
Yeah,
the
and
pressure.
there's different levels of it. So mine, I guess, was basically just the lowest grade because it's like, symptoms, will disappear within 24 hours.
That was the lowest?
Yeah.
That
so,
sounded terrible.
terrible. So basically, it's like I had headaches and stuff like all last night, but like woke up this morning, I've been good today, and everything, and I'm just hoping it
Plus,
doesn't
we
happen on a flight
got that
back,
sinus
yeah.
spray too.
Yeah,
so
so I was
that
like, I
kinda
got some sinus medication, took it. Hopefully we'll be good. I was like, if it happens again on the flight, probably have to go to the doctor or something and get myself checked out.
Fuck, bro.
But it was definitely a scary moment because I've flown plenty and that's never happened.
Well,
to me
because
before.
that can happen when you swim too. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
if
There's
you
differences in
go
pressure.
No,
if you go
no,
underwater too far, like 6
Yeah,
feet
the
underground,
pressure.
like that'll happen too. That's happened to me a few times too. Like if I swim now, like I'll get
headaches.
But
Yeah.
Tone, you made a good point. That's the weakest form. What is like the strongest form? Does the pressure just
eyes-
consolidate and make a brain
Your
tumor?
whole head
it's all the
explodes.
same thing, but there's 3 different like grade levels. So like grade 1 is like symptoms disappear, pretty normally, within a few hours. Grade 2 is like symptoms that can last up to 24 hours, and grade 3.
Oh, so it's just a time
so it's
frame.
how fast you
Yeah.
return
Yeah.
back. To
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the symptoms got worse.
Like,
No, well, I think
I was like, I don't know how
yeah,
worse
probably
they can
feels-
get.
just same across the board,
Yeah.
which it was miserable. It's like somebody was shoving.
I had it a little bit this morning when I woke up, like a little bit of pressure in my head, but
We're also at a higher altitude.
We're at a
than
higher
you're used
altitude.
to.
so I feel like I don't know. It went away as soon as I got up and like took a shower and everything. It kind of
Yeah, honestly, I feel
definitely eating
I feel
helps because I was
fantastic.
hungry. I feel good, yeah.
I feel like
I'm
this is probably
well rested.
the best I've felt like during a squad meetup, because usually when I'm coming to the West Coast, I'm losing 2 hours, so that hits a lot harder. Usually I'm waking up dumb early, and I'm not going
I
to
know.
sleep.
Tanner
until
was the first
super
one to go to
late.
bed yesterday, and I was like, I don't even feel bad. 'cause
No,
he's
Tanner
I had
was
been
been
up
up
for
the
2
longest,
days
and
straight.
he was the furthest
We
back.
did make
and-
fun of Danny when we got down to the beach, though.
Dude, I don't know why you stayed.
It was
Dude.
beautiful. It was so beautiful.
We'll be going back tonight, right?
Yeah, we're going back after this.
I was sleeping, and then they came back in the room and woke me up with Ram Ranch, and then I went right back to
Let's-
sleep.
Okay, Danny said, and I quote, "I can sleep through anything," and so we were like, "Okay, bet."
I know that's bullshit because you stayed in Discord one night and like we woke up
But
and
he
checked
was
and you
blowing
would-
into the mic, and then I didn't.
Yeah, I did wake up the next morning, and I went and I saw he was still in Discord, and I went in and absurdly just.
I didn't hear that, and it wasn't until like I was kind of up, and then I heard 18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram, and I was like, do I hear Tanner's voice?
Yeah, I just started screaming the lyrics to Ram
'Cause you
Ranch
were
while
at
he was
the,
asleep in
hotel
the
for
Discord.
I was at the
birthday,
hotel,
right?
but because like my
You were on your
computer's.
phone.
I was trying to play Minecraft on my laptop, and it wasn't loading Minecraft. But I forgot that I was on Discord on my phone, so I shut my laptop, thinking like, all right, I'm off of everything. I put everything away. I went to sleep. I was still in Discord on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to bed and Danny was just still in there, and I think like an hour after I had shut my PC off and I was like in bed on my phone, I was like, Danny's still in the call.
Yeah, I wasn't until I woke up. I was like, holy shit, Tanner. He's like, what? I was like, I completely forgot I was in Discord on my phone. I was like, I thought I was on my computer, and I just shut everything down.
It's as long as you don't leave your webcam up and running, like you just go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
That could be real bad.
It's like those.
What if I woke up in time
Those
and it's
weird
just like,
movies are like they'll see where they're selling children on websites and they have them in boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
Wayfair
that.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
my free cams, boy sleeps on cam.
Boy sleeps.
Listen,
Got it.
I want YouTube
That's my
pranksters to
first
capitalize on the Wayfair conspiracy. I want J Station to put himself in somebody's Wayfair cabinet and break into their house because they bring it in.
Yeah,
Hell,
but J
intercept
Station
the
fakes
package.
it, so it'd be fake.
Okay, I want a real YouTube prankster to do it.
A real YouTube prankster is kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
Roman
I mean, I
Atwood?
guess.
Nelk
Okay,
boys are pretty real.
Dickhead on YouTube that messes with the public.
Yeah, Nelk boys. They got it. I could see the Nelk boys doing something like that.
No, boys.
Bro, I fuck with Nelk.
What about you, Ant? You haven't talked about your flight here. How was?
So it started off me sitting in my seat, and the
Why don't
last
we talk about Gage's airport troubles getting on the plane in the first place?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die before I even got on, and then I died
So-
on the plane.
When
Gage
I
almost
actually
murdered somebody from American Airlines.
so I spotted Gage the ticket, and then he later
Yeah.
then paid me back for it. But I didn't know better, so I put the ticket under my name, thinking we would print it off
Yeah.
later and get to change the name or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking, but turns out I had 2 tickets under my name, and they
One
couldn't
under my
change.
name.
Yeah,
one
we
under
we
Gage.
called American Airlines, and they said that they changed it and it would be ready by morning. So we're like, okay, sick, and they didn't change it. So I went to the customer service. They said they can't change a complete name, but they can fix a misspell.
I just misspelled it. It's
Exactly.
spelled-
So then they go, no, we can't change it. So I was like, so we have 2 tickets under my name that we can't do anything with? And they're like, yeah. Then we were like,
yeah.
they were like, okay. And then we were like, what do we do now? They were like, you have to buy another ticket. I said, motherfucker, what?
Motherfucker, excuse me?
So we're arguing with these 2 bitches that
No,
weren't
because they
fucking
said
doing
they said-
anything.
They said, and I quote this: they said, you could go online and try and buy another ticket if there's something available. Anthony goes, why wouldn't there be something available? We have 2 tickets with my name on it, so obviously there's going to be an open seat.
Yeah.
Because I can't sit in
There's
2 fucking seats.
obviously an open seat.
So I buy the ticket again. Luckily, Danny and I are going back to New York soon, so
Yeah.
that extra ticket isn't
He
going to go
bought
to
the
waste.
ticket for the next day.
I accidentally bought the ticket for the next day. Luckily,
They
one
can change
We had
that.
one helpful guy.
We had
who
one
barely
helpful
spoke
guy
English,
who
But was
really
good
helped
at
us
his
out.
job.
but he was great. at his job.
Saved the day, brought us there,
to some
changed,
other lady who was
changed
very
everything.
nice.
It was awesome. The 2 people that helped us later on.
Yeah, the old lady's like, "Oh, this would be something that helps out over there," and
Hey.
Gage's like, "I don't want to go back."
All
over
I
there."
gotta say is that white people fucked it up the whole time at the airport.
They always fucking do.
There's a couple of Karens that were like, sorry, we can't
No,
do
yeah,
that.
the,
Just
the
buy a new
manager,
ticket.
the manager was definitely
The
a Karen.
manager was a Karen, bro. I
Well.
wanted to go and slap the fuck out of her.
Because what did you say?
Bro, I was like, okay, why can't I just board with
Under
him?
his name.
Why can't I just board under his name? And they both looked at me and laughed, and I go, fuck you, you're retarded.
They were like, "Yeah, no, because you're not him," and we're like, "All right, but he's not him twice."
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, but he has 2 tickets.
like, what-
so
why
really
can't
he could
he
just
say-
give that
It's
to
like,
another
yeah,
person.
it's like, what sounds more dumb, bitch? You want me to buy another ticket or just switch
It's
it?
like, "Hi, I'm Anthony. I have 2 tickets for
I would
Anthony.
like to give this one
I
to
can't
this
drive
person.
the plane
Yeah.
twice, so I'm gonna give my other ticket to this gentleman right here."
Yeah.
It's not like a concert.
Yeah. Well,
It's just fucking stupid.
yeah, I
it
was like,
it
you'd
was
think,
dumb.
like, I have a ticket to this plane. I have the person whose name is on the ticket right here in front of me.
And the thing is, we sat and we were on American Airlines hold for like an hour and a half the night
The
before.
night before, yeah, I remember seeing the Discord message.
So like, okay, we got it all taken care of. Is anything else we can do? Like, no, we're all good. Oh, we're
Thank
all happy.
you so much. Yeah.
Nothing.
Didn't do shit.
Nothing
Didn't-
changed.
They
we just wasted
sat
our
with you
time.
on the phone.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Just wasted our time. Do not recommend American Airlines. However, we did have 2 really friendly people who helped us out later.
Yeah, I was
on.
like, what I've found with most, like, people at the airport is, like, usually the people working at the airport are just shit.
yeah.
Like,
They
And,
look like they fucking hate themselves,
yeah, I was
too.
like, I get it. You're getting paid $8 an hour to deal with people who are super mad. Like, you don't go to one of those booths unless you're upset. So
Yeah.
it's like your entire job is dealing with upset people. And I understand to some degree you can't just sit there and take it for an entire day. But when someone comes to you with an actual issue that is completely warranted, because this is like, we talked to the customer service.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be fixed, and it's not. This is not on us. This is on you.
And the thing is, they didn't even try to
Yeah,
help us.
exactly.
They didn't do anything.
So
And it's-
They just said, "Oh, we can't help you," and
I-
just
I
told us to
think
fuck
the,
off.
Yeah, so I was like, I think that relay with customer service also kind of brings us to a point with the hotel we're staying in as well.
Yeah. So, as you know from the past podcast,
And as
before
you
this
can
trip,
see,
we were supposed to be in a boardroom right now.
Yeah.
We're not, as you can see, because literally up until we got to the hotel, I thought we had the boardroom. They let me book it, they let me pay for it, all of that. But when I get there, they're like, the other room's just a normal king suite. And I'm like, well, that's not true, because on my phone it clearly says boardroom. And they're like, the boardroom's closed. So I'm definitely going to be complaining. The hotel's fine, but that's something that, obviously, if it's not open, why would you let me book it?
Yeah.
Like, put it out of order.
or if you're also going to put it out of order, see who has it booked and call them.
Yeah,
and
call
say,
me. Let me know.
Like,
Because
hey, due to the circumstances of the pandemic, we had to close the boardroom. We're gonna have to put you in a regular king suite.
Yeah, and
this
it's
is
like,
how we're gonna compensate you.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
that
thing.
would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah, so I think.
But instead of just waiting till we check in and say, "Oh, by the way, we got you in a regular king suite," and then we're like,
Well,
so
that's not what I wanted.
Where's our boardroom?
Yeah, I was like, well, I specifically picked this hotel.
Not a lot of people are
because-
just gonna book a boardroom.
And it's like, my thing is, it's like, I get the idea is because it's like, oh, the boardroom fits 12 people and we have COVID restrictions. We're not having more than 10 people in the boardroom. We have the same amount of people in a room regardless.
Just take out 2 of the chairs. Like, if you're really that worried
Yeah,
about it,
it's
just
like-
make it physically impossible for us to sit 12 people.
Well,
in
it's
that
like,
room.
if we wanted to, we could have 13 people in this room. There's plenty of room
Oh,
for
yeah.
people. Like,
Oh, we could easily fit 50 people.
yeah, I was like, there's nothing limiting how many people I could have in this room.
Throw a party.
I could literally go on Reddit right now, post the address to the hotel, be like, doors unlocked, come party, and have 100 people in here like that. Granted, most of them would be here to rob us, but
Maybe put it in my Tinder bio.
yeah, like we could wrap this up really quick. So I don't necessarily.
So is this like a suggestion or just a hypothetical?
both?
yeah, let's get people in here.
But
We're gonna go when we go to the beach. We're gonna try and pull a random person off the side.
The next podcast,
The next
100-person podcast.
Just
We
have
should
40 people.
no. When we go to the beach later, we should be like, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast tomorrow?"
Hey, we
Just
run a
random
podcast, and you got a fat ass. Would you like to come talk about that?
That fat ass and sit on my lap.
Would you like to come talk to that to roughly 150 people and just kind of like talk about how your ass got like that?
While letting me touch it. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Does your OnlyFans accept Reddit Gold?
I only have silver. I'm not that much of a meme lord. I have 50 Reddit silver. What will that get me? Can I get a spit? Just a spit on me?
You get a single tit pic, but not like of both tits.
Just
one.
the nipple.
Just want it.
It's like one of the selfies where it's like one tit is visible.
Yeah.
Kind of like that angle.
Okay. I'll take it. I worked hard for that 50 Reddit silver though, so we'll see. But yeah, so we had a pretty eventful travels leading up here.
It was
Oh,
funny
also-
because it was so eventful when we finally all got together. It was just we were all chill and relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
It
pretty.
just
We
evened
were
out
all
so quick.
wound up from the flights and travel that
Yeah.
by the time we landed, we were just all like,
we
We're all just
we were at
happy.
the
Okay, let's
gate.
go to the
We're happy it's over. Happy we were together. It was
We
awesome.
were at the gate pretty flustered, the three of us, and then the moment that Geek showed up, we were like, ah.
yeah, because I like showed up because they just went through their whole like ticketing process because the layover was like 30 minutes or something. Like we were not there for a very long time, or I wasn't there for a very long time. But I like showed up and like normally when I show up, it's all like, oh hi, what's up? But like they just looked stressed.
It was bad.
Yeah, yesterday was really rough.
When we got to the airport, also they forgot to send our luggage to the right carousel,
Oh,
so we had
okay,
to
so
wait.
not only even that, so even before that, so when we got to Chicago, our plane ticket says, hey, H6, and that's where we're going. But then I get a notification that says your flight is now boarding at gate H18, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's fine.
So then we go down there, we make it in plenty of time, but then we land in Seattle, and it was like, oh, your bags will be on carousel 16. We come down,
Hey, that's
I started seeing-
ours was on.
I start seeing bags come through, and I'm like, I'm in the military, so I brought a green duffel bag. And I'm like looking, I see a bunch of green duffel bags. I'm like looking, I'm like, none of these are mine. I'm like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like, comes over the intercom, and it was like, oh, if you're on flight 1165 from Chicago, your bags are now on carousel 15. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
I was like, at least you notified us of that one.
Yeah.
I was like,
Hey, thanks for that.
like when my gate switched, I was like, if I would have been like, it would have been like, oh, hey, it's like
A11.
You would have
completely
waited.
different. I'd have like, we would have been fucking sprinting.
Well, our gate switched because it was different on our tickets, and we didn't know until we got gauges printed out.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because mine was the same the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, mine stayed the same until it notified me on my phone, and it was like, hey, it's H18 now, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And like we were sitting there waiting for it at the wrong gate, and we were like, man, well, you got a notification that said this was gonna be a busy flight, but there's like nobody here.
I know
Also,
there's like 5 people sitting around this, I was like, man,
This is what they consider
Maybe
busy
20.
these days.
but then we go over there, and it's literally just a million people all packed together,
Oh,
like
yeah,
we're like
there's-
fucking canned sardines inside this goddamn
Canned
plane.
Yeah, it was a pretty
We're all
full
packed
flight.
so close together, it's hot.
Yeah, no, 100%. Also, here's a PSA to people who fly.
Don't eat
Listen,
Chinese food on the plane.
That too. I didn't
my
experience that, but
Anthony did.
Here's the thing. Don't fucking sit in your row and wait for your other family members to come up to you before you deboard the plane. I don't want to sit in a fucking cramped window seat for 30 extra minutes while you wait for someone to come up to you when we're all going to the exact same spot.
Or, hey, I'm going to wait for somebody. Why don't you guys go ahead?
Yeah, I had to physically ask the two people in my row. I was like, can you guys move so I can go through? Because you are literally just blocking me at this point. Like, and it's just so annoying that there's zero etiquette on planes.
Well, because you're waiting for us, too.
Yeah.
Like, you
guys were off.
We were off,
yeah,
but you still need to meet up with us. Like,
exactly.
we're waiting. Like, I have to find people, too.
Yeah, I was like, you're not the only
get out of my
one.
way.
It was like, my friends were responsible and got off the fucking plane as soon as they could.
Gage met us out there.
Oh yeah, dude, I got off right as I could.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
I was
jumped
out
into
of
the
that
aisleway.
fucking
And
thing.
I
I don't think
Anthony
I don't
out,
think it
so
was
me and him could go.
the same thing though. He got off because he was sick.
He was
I
like
was-
a trash can. He was.
I
he had
was
his
so
hand on a
ready.
pillar, and he was like,
Yeah, I was ready to get the fuck out of that plane.
But yeah, I agree though. Like when
just-
you can go, just go.
Yeah, I was like,
do it.
we're all going to the same lobby. You can sit there and wait. You don't have to get off the plane with the people you boarded with.
It's not necessary.
Our flight fought that a little bit by having the captain say that we had to dismiss like front to back. So like people in the front row went. Then
That's how
behind
my
them.
flight was from Des Moines to Phoenix. And that was fine. That was great. I loved that. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. But my issue is when it's like, okay, you're free to unboard, and then I just have to literally wait for people. Because, like, I don't get claustrophobic on planes until we're on the ground at stopped. That's when I start having a little bit of a freak out, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't like this. I want to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling like kind of claustrophobic on that flight. Like
that's when you stand up and you're just like,
I
then
was
watch
just
everybody scatter.
I was just like, please get out of my way. Like,
that's only the second time I've ever flown in my life, and like first time like as an adult. So it was like a very different thing for me.
That was like the 40th time I've flown.
yeah, I fly pretty frequently. I like
Me and Anthony
flying.
have flown back and forth
I like-
to New York.
I like the act
Been
of
a while.
flying. I just don't like waiting for the plane to take off and waiting to get off the plane.
I like to get like a GameNight private jet.
GameNight private jet.
I'm surprised there wasn't a temperature check at the airport.
I
Oh,
know.
Just let everybody on.
Well, I think it's just like I don't think they could afford to cover that much thermometer caps
Yeah.
to actually
That's
Yeah.
true.
test people and.
Well,
be
they have like
safe
the
about
guns
it.
now.
We have the guns at my work, yeah.
I've heard those aren't
That's
incredibly
weird.
accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than spending all that money.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like if
I mean,
you get a
having it's better
temperature-
than not having it too.
Well, is it
The
though
thing
if
is
it's
with,
not
like,
accurate?
The gun ones too. So it's like I work at a jail back home, and whenever we bring people in, or even when we come in from work, like if it's hot outside and I've been outside for an hour,
Your temperature's
When I come
gonna
in,
be raised.
like they're gonna be like, oh, it says like 101.2, and I'm like, okay, and then we'll go do the the under the tongue one, and it's like
Yeah.
97.4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember the gun's just measuring your skin temperature. It's
Yeah.
not actually measuring your blood temperature.
That's why when we get our strips from Wells Fargo, I'm gonna keep them in my car. It's like when you stick it on your head, it's gonna be like,
200 degrees.
You're
oh
205.
shit,
Are
I
you
gotta
dead?
go home.
Oh shit! You should go to a hospital.
I
But
think they.
I don't
will
have to
call.
worry about it. Me and Anthony are off for 2 weeks. We're gonna spend a lot of brotherly bonding time.
A lot of car time.
yeah, but no. I'd say I don't know about you guys, but pretty much everybody I've seen in Seattle has been wearing a mask.
Yeah, actually.
The social distancing's been pretty solid.
So my
like-
one of my mom's friends or coworkers, she said came back from Seattle like right before we went. She said like everything was open, which it is. A lot of places are open out here.
Yeah, I was like, there's a
And
couple
she said
things
it's just
that are
mask,
closed, but
mask everywhere.
Even the restaurant that
like-
we just ate at, they had
Yeah.
a split. Even
yeah, I
though
was
we're
like, we
all.
could only have 3 people at a
Not in
table.
Arizona, they could give 2 flying fucks.
Yeah, I was like, we're coming from. I mean, I don't know how Illinois or your state is, but
So let me put this on perspective. Like I live in Southern Illinois, like very small towns. Nobody gives a shit about COVID-19. Like all the bars are open, maximum capacity, like absolutely packed. Like doesn't matter whatsoever. But you go into like a little bit bigger city, then it's like, hey, like you need to wear your mask when you come in.
Yeah, everything
Stuff like
was
that.
open in Arizona,
But here's
and then
the
it
thing,
got
too, with
so bad
Illinois
they closed it all.
Is like we were starting to go down, and then all of a sudden all the stuff opened back up, and then people are not giving a fuck now, and now it's going back up. So now Illinois is probably going to go back into
into
phase 3,
complete shutdown. Yeah.
which means, hey, we're shutting down the bars again. restaurants are going to be limited to like 25% capacity or maybe carry out only. That also makes school not be in session as well.
There was a guy that owned Mountainside Fitness that tried to sue the state of Arizona for closing the gyms.
Yeah,
We had
people.
He hella lost.
We had a senator in Illinois that tried to like sue our governor about some kind of extending
hella
powers,
lost.
and stuff like that. And I was like, what is going on?
What is happening? We have states just fighting each other.
I'm in a similar condition as Jordan, where like nobody gives a fuck, but at the same time, like also everything is still closed down. So like people in their private lives do not give a fuck about COVID, and they will go anywhere without a mask on. And there's people causing a ruckus because they don't want to wear a mask when they go in places.
There's people I work with that refuse to wear one, but they have to wear one at work, and they wear it at work.
Yeah, that's.
But when they go out in public and do whatever, they won't.
Yeah.
So like shit's still just locked down, and everybody's miserable, and also everybody's just being a bitch about it, and not wanting to wear a mask or do anything.
Yeah.
It's just miserable.
So I live in Iowa, and if you're not sure where that is, I don't blame you, but we're right under Minnesota and right to the west of Illinois. And see, Iowa's governor is arguably one of the worst governors in the country. She's a psychopath.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, she's a psychopath that does not deserve to be a politician, let alone a functioning member of society.
Half the politicians.
Anyways, I live in a city. I think there's roughly 75K without students and about 150K with students. Anyways, everything is open. We are at full capacity at everything. There's no state regulation for masks, so businesses have to like individually put like mask regulations on. So like, if you're a restaurant in Iowa, it is completely up to you as a business if you want to require people to wear masks. There's no mandate. Anyways, a couple of cities like Iowa City and Muscatine, which are other larger cities in the state, they're basically like, okay, well, you control state government, but I do control my county, so I can put a county regulation that you have to wear masks while you're in my county. And so the reason our governor is leaving everything open is because with Chicago and Minneapolis both about 3 to 4 hours away, with them closing, Iowa is just taking all of the events because everything's open here. We have fields, if you have a sports team, you can come here. And so our numbers have shot up like 300% in the last month. We went from, I think it was like 10,000 cases to 50,000 cases within the summer.
Yeah.
And Iowa's not big is the thing. Like, we're in Washington right now. And Washington, obviously, there's Seattle, there's Olympia, there's Bellevue, there's some pretty large cities in Seattle. Iowa's numbers and Seattle's numbers are almost identical. And so I am literally coming from a state that is much smaller population-wise and like event-wise to a state that's much bigger, but because this state has had better regulations and better mandates, their numbers are equal to ours. And so, even if you don't necessarily believe it or think there's some conspiracy
a single
behind
city has just as
masks,
much as an entire city.
Like, masks work. Like, masks will work for any kind of disease spread. It doesn't have to be COVID. If you have a cold, you should probably be wearing a mask. That's something I think we can, we're going to, as America, we're going to benefit from. I think we're going to see more people just wearing masks during, like, 6 seasons.
Yeah, like Japan and China, they've been doing this well
that's
before.
Pretty much worldwide.
Yeah, well, they've been doing it well before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even when this whole pandemic wasn't even a thing, if you were sick in Japan, you were going outside, you'd still wear a mask.
If it's flu season.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing, too, because if you go into a doctor's office, 90% of the time, they've got masks and stuff in there that say, hey, like, if you have a cough or if you're sick, like,
you should wear this.
You should wear these.
Yeah.
But it's not like a mandatory thing. It's just like, hey, your discretion. Normally, I've never seen anybody doing it, but...
Yeah, but no, that thing happened in Arizona, too, where it was just like, the governor was like, no, you don't have to wear masks, but, like, it's up to the cities.
Yeah,
and then, like, 95% of the cities was like, masks.
Please.
It's a lot of Western countries where like masks when you're sick weren't very common usually, like America and places in Europe, but like in a lot of Asian countries and like India, it was like a thing where if you were sick or there was like a bug going
Yeah,
around, people would wear masks.
Because it's just
And
generally...
I don't think that is a bad thing.
No, I think that's a good change we could make as a country to just improve our general health. Because, I mean, we're one of the largest countries without a universal health care, like, regimen. So it's like, when you get sick, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you'd think that we'd be the country to take those extra precautions to be like, oh, let's not get sick as often. But we're one of the worst when it comes to infection rates.
Well, the thing is, companies, they benefit off people being sick.
Well,
there's
it's
no
not-
reason to promote an agenda of good health because ultimately too much money is
Yes and no.
transacted
Look at
due to
fast
people being
food.
sick.
Yes and no,
Look at
because
fast food.
companies also lose money when people are sick. Because if you don't have anybody to run your shit or anybody to come in and eat your shit, then
There's a balance.
there's a healthy medium.
You
to where-
want enough people to be sick that Big Pharma makes money, but you
Yeah.
want enough people still working so that
that
everything
you can
still
run the
stays on.
economy. Yeah.
Yes.
I eat shit.
It's a delicate balance that they've somehow struck to make everyone miserable.
Yeah, I was like, and we're just it's a weird position that we're in as Americans because in other countries, like obviously we know that like European countries are handling this much better. They're enforcing stricter lockdowns, and we see they're returning back to normal now with insanely low numbers compared to us. And it's like, okay, we could have done that. We could have been relatively back to normal now. But now we're on an upswing as everybody else is on a downswing. And I don't know if you guys have seen the infograph, but we really can't travel outside of the country right now.
Yeah.
Like,
there's only maybe a handful of countries that the U.S. can travel to.
And it's mostly just countries that are like, we need tourist money, so we're going to stay open.
Because I actually had the conversation when I was at the airport. Like I posted a story on my Snapchat, saying, "Hey, I'm at the O'Hare Chicago airport," and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, are you flying out of country?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "I'm flying to Seattle." He's like, "Oh, I've been looking at flying out of country." He's like, "I didn't know if you knew what countries you could fly to and whatnot." And he was telling me a couple different ones, and I was like, none of these are popular US destinations.
They're all destinations that are let's capitalize on the fact that nowhere else is open.
They capitalize on the fact that we know Americans will still fly here.
Yeah, exactly. We're literally just fueling the world economy with travel right now.
But here's the thing. With how America handled the coronavirus lockdown, a lot of it is also just people. A lot of people haven't handled it very well.
I was going to say freedom.
There's a lot of people
Freedom has fucked us pretty hard in this situation.
People are stubborn too.
Well, I'm not even saying freedom. Just hear me out here for a second. There are quite a few people that just refuse to wear a mask or whatever, just because they see it as an infringement on their rights. Whatever. But at the same time, it's also our media. We can't really censor them because they're all supposed to be free.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the articles were coming out whenever this was first kind of started being talked about, February, where it was if you're scared of the coronavirus, it's racist because it's from China?
Yeah.
There was articles like that going around, and the people were like, okay, well, we can't be worried about corona because then it's racist. And then it was okay, now you can worry about corona when it's already in America and a bunch of people are getting sick.
My thing is, though, if you're that easily influenced by the media, you're a statistic waiting to happen. If you put that much reliance in what a newscaster says, you are just waiting to die at that point.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just there's more people like that than you think.
Oh, no, I think there's a good amount of people like that. But it's I think a big problem that we face in modern time is people just not doing research about anything.
Oh, yeah.
They're just taking headlines and, spreading that as information, but nobody's actually willing to, go in and, do the research. Because it's yes, the coronavirus or this strain of the coronavirus most likely came from China. That has just factually pretty much been proven. Obviously, coronavirus as a whole is a large substrain of disease that has existed for decades and decades and decades, and this is just a certain strain that we have not ever seen before.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think America's weird because we try to profitize everything. So it's right off the bat, you had the media trying to profitize on reporting, and then you had companies coming out with the commercials that are we stand with you, so you should buy our product. But we didn't really have any companies or any big names come out and be hey, this is what I'm going to do to help our country. Whereas you saw millionaires in the UK and in Italy come out and they're I'm donating whatever I make this year, regardless of how long this pandemic lasts. 50% is going to health organizations because I know that I make an absurd amount of money and I don't need it. But
well, it's anyone really with wealth in America has become evil. Like,
Yeah.
at this point, I'm going to tell everyone watching this, kill your heroes. If there's any celebrity, politician, anybody you like, just say that you don't like them anymore.
Yeah,
Because they don't have your interest in mind.
that's something I think also is an issue, is the idolization of people. Like, I don't understand why people idolize celebrities so intensely. Because it's like, don't get me wrong, I respect a lot of celebrities as far
Yeah.
as, like, actors, musicians, people who are in the same field as I'm in. I can respect their drive, their knowledge, their experience.
But it's impossible for them to think the same way as you.
I would never call somebody my hero because they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like if you have someone in your head who's done a lot of good for the world, and you're like, oh, this person's a hero, yeah, for sure. But I think we give celebrities a little too much power, and that can be one celebrity being like, oh, face masks are stupid, and then 50,000 people don't wear face masks.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's too much power for one person to have. And granted, I think that's something that's always existed, but I think it's easier to become famous now, or
Yeah.
famous. Because, I mean, anybody with a couple dozen thousand followers can be considered an influencer.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, if you can convince 1,000 people to not wear face masks, like, that is a huge act.
And, like, I don't know, a lot of just the lockdown has just kind of become about money here in America, where that isn't as much of a problem in other countries. There's a lot less involved capital just because there's a lot less people that own, like, local businesses.
Yeah,
and
well,
shit
I mean,
like that.
I think
it's become a
Italy's-
lot of strife.
I think
involved
Italy's
in
a
that.
great example because, I mean, granted, their population is immensely smaller than ours,
Oh, yeah.
so comparing economies isn't even a fair statement, but, like, they, if you owned a local business, then the state was going to cop you. They're going to pay your minimum needs for giving people checks, for paying your rent, for all of that. And then if you're owned by a corporation that's not based in Italy, it's completely on them.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're making millions and millions of dollars a year, you should be able to supply this, but local businesses, obviously they benefit the state directly, so they help them. And I think something like that would have been really useful for us, a couple months ago. But at this point, we're so far into it that it's hard to see a way that we're going to go back to normal within a year or two.
And I'm going to say this. This is the only time in history that colleges have ever abandoned their virtue. Or colleges have ever pretended, have ever stopped pretending that they're on the right side of history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because straight up colleges like, yeah, we're reopening.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah, you're whatever. We're doing a couple
Money.
of things, but you guys are still coming the fuck back to this
Money.
campus.
we want that $20,000, okay?
Like my college is not doing really a lot. We're still going to be in-person classing. Like, it's up to the teacher to decide whether or not
Do you know
they
what
want to go fully online. And even them, they're not going to get extra prep time.
Yeah,
Do you know what your
big, huh?
college size is? Like, how many people attend?
A little bit over 20,000. And most of the people
Or
live
out
on
of
campus
state?
in dorms.
Yeah, and they're coming
Well,
from
yeah,
different
I
states.
wanted to go
into-
back and finish I have 6
Yeah.
credits left, but I can't learn online and all the classes for.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
wasn't
like
going the fuck back, and I was
can't
really
do it.
hoping they were just going to cancel, so I would just be able to keep my classes. But the school didn't really offer any options to just take all your classes online. Teachers weren't being told to prepare to teach online. The way that our president was talking, which, by the way, our last president had to quit because everybody hated him, and it was right before the virus.
Oof.
It was the spring break that was happening, right before that spring break, he got fired, and then his VP got pushed
So
up
it
as
was
the interim president.
mid-virus.
Well,
Before it became a serious
before
thing,
lockdowns.
while it was building up.
Yeah. While it was still building up in America pre-lockdowns, that president changed. And he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know anything. He's so confused because he was just the vice president before. He was just a paperwork guy. Basically.
Discipline and
Paperwork and go get me a coffee from Starbucks guy.
Yeah. But now he's had to step up and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. College is basically just going to reopen like normal. But people are supposed to wear masks. And the college isn't going to be able to fit everyone. Because
is the college going to carry 20,000 masks on hand every day in case people don't bring them?
That's a hard part, but here's another thing. There's that many people on campus, and most of them live on campus.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to have roommates anymore.
So they're not gonna have the boarding.
So they're not going to have the boarding, but there's still going to be kids that are going to have to live there.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean,
what's going to happen? And they're not offering like an official like just choice to stay home and take.
Also,
classes.
here's
Like,
the
you have
thing.
to change your schedule and cancel your housing assignment.
Yeah, I was like, here's the thing, like, if I paid to go to school here, but masks are out of sale everywhere because everybody needs them, and I physically cannot buy masks, I have to wait 3 weeks for them to ship on Amazon, am I just not supposed to go to class for 3 weeks?
Yes.
Am I just supposed to abandon those credits?
Even though you have to be there on the first day or you fail and like you get kicked out.
So it's just like, at that point, they're setting people up to spend money to fail out.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally a scam. That is literally at the heart of it, a scam.
But colleges are normally like, oh yeah, we're the good guys. We're all about
Higher
enriching young
education,
minds.
yeah.
Higher education is good for the unknowledged youth. Everyone needs to go to college, and now they're doing shit like this. Like, okay, so you're just exposing that all you care about is greed and money.
I mean, you can already scam to get your kids going to schools that they don't actually go to.
Lori
so.
Loughlin.
Yeah.
Full house. Full big house.
For a lot of people, going to college isn't a good idea anyway, because it's just not everyone's thing.
I think she got like 4 months, but I imagine it probably got waived because of COVID.
Probably. So yeah, that's a big thing too. Is so like even with the whole prison system, like I've worked in prison, Illinois Department of Corrections. I work in a county jail now, and we've just got guys sitting that are waiting to go to prison, but nobody's picking anybody up. And it's like, hey, we'll get a memo, but then it's like Illinois is kind of on the downfall again, so we're about to just roll back, so then it's probably going to get canceled.
How much do you guys want to bet that Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's mistress, is going to die of COVID in a federal prison?
Oh, 100%. There's no way she's making it to 2021. I refuse to believe she will live the rest of this year.
Did you hear what happened the day that we flew out? They unsealed the Epstein case court
Oh,
documents.
yeah, and Bill Clinton
was referenced by name.
Multiple times.
Ghislaine Maxwell is done.
Yeah, no, she's not.
Fuck with the Clinton.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way she's making it to 2021.
Now for just bringing this up, I'm going to get Epsteined. You guys are going to go in the bathroom, I'm going to hung myself with 2 rolls of toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper.
My security clearance can't even save me now.
It's okay, I'm in tight with the Clintons. They owe me a favor.
What'd you do?
Can't talk about it.
I think he killed Epstein.
Can't talk about it.
You've been to New York. You know the layout of the city. You know how to get to that federal prison.
You could transform into rope.
I am an anamorph, but it is just rope.
He anamorphed into some rope and then just aggressively told
it's
Epstein to
actually
hang
a
himself.
snake. I'm a boa constrictor, and I just swung up or rung the rafters and wrapped my tail around and just lifted that motherfucker clean up.
Got him.
And then I just tied some bed sheets together really quick and slithered my way out of there. Anamorphed.
And you went outside and got into a limo with Hillary Clinton in the seat next to you, and she was wearing a hood and sunglasses, and she was like, "Did you get it done?"
Did you ever play Fable? She was wearing the Temple of Scorn robes, and then she handed me a bow that I could just infinitely charge, and it was sick. Honestly, well worth it. Granted, I had a halo and some butterflies flying around me before, and those were way gone by the time I was finished. But
Breaking news. Released note reveals that Jeffrey Epstein was killed by the Dark Brotherhood. It's just the Dark Brotherhood note from Skyrim.
Love it. But yeah, so I think the Epstein thing... So did you guys ever watch the Epstein documentary on Netflix?
I probably know everything it talks about.
Well, the only thing I really want to reference from it is at the end of every episode, it says, there's a notice that's Ghislaine Maxwell was not involved in anything regarding this. She was unknowing during this whole time. And it's going to be really fucking funny if it comes out that she knew everything the whole time. And they just have this series that has made millions of dollars that is getting rid of her guilt.
I mean, she
obviously,
knew
it's
everything.
all, yeah, and it's all allegedly, and they went to go get her, fucking statement from her, and she was just like, I didn't know anything, all
For
of that.
legal purposes, it was all alleged. My opinion, she knew absolutely everything Epstein was doing.
Oh, I would agree. I would
There's
say.
too many pictures of her, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein hanging out
Yeah, no, I'd say.
for me to think like, okay, these people totally aren't sex criminals.
No,
It's
I
all
think-
a big misunderstanding.
No, I think 100% this is just a really fucked up situation that's toppling after decades of of horrible things happening. Because that's the thing about anything. A good saying I've always learned as a young child doing illicit activities is it's not will I get caught, it's when will I get caught. So it's like if you do illegal things, you will get caught eventually. I don't think there's very few people in history that have made a career in crime and gotten away with it. So
You're talking about the Joker?
Tony Montana.
both not real people. Also, Tony Montana died.
Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't get persecuted. He died.
His entire life, he was committing
Yeah.
crimes and getting away with it
Well, I
until
mean,
he didn't anymore.
Being a successful career criminal.
He was successful until he died.
Getting killed because of your crimes, I'd say, makes
That's
you
a
not
dub.
successful.
That's a dub, bro. Dying because of the crimes you committed is
No.
a fat dub.
The idea is that you make enough money to start investing legally, and then you get away from crime. But
Well, that's like primo end game shit. But like best case scenario for most criminals is that you die committing the crime.
best
and you
case
don't have to go to
scenario is
prison.
you throw somebody under the bus and they believe you.
Oh, dude.
that is absolutely best case scenario.
But like for everything
Oh, dude.
Epstein did, he basically walked by getting killed. Because if he would have went to a prison somewhere where like they weren't babying him, he would have gotten like fucked up.
I don't think he would have.
If everyone
Depends on
that
where
he
it goes, I
defended.
guess.
No, because he has the money to buy prison protection.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If he was in a scenario,
If he was in a real prison, he would have been fine. No one would have been able to touch him. No one would have been able to get close. Because he has money on the outside to be like, protect me and I will give you $1,000 a month.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because that shit happens just in regular prison.
Yeah, it was
but
like-
he
like
would have
one
had to
after
go
another.
to like a crazy federal prison just because of.
Well, that's
like-
what happened.
Well, I'm meaning one that wasn't where he got fucking.
Well,
killed.
that's what I'm saying is he wasn't babied is the thing. He was getting prepped for murder. That like if he was in a regular prison, there's no fucking way he would
I
have
mean,
gotten
It's
caught.
all-
in a
all it takes
prison
is
with
one
the
phone
intention
call,
of
so-
serving
Yeah.
out his sentence, because he didn't get like sentence or anything. They're still going on.
Yeah,
They
no,
just
that's
put him
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
prison
He was
for
in a
the-
federal hold in maximum security.
I'm meaning if it was for the sake of having to serve out his sentence and he wasn't getting fucking babied and given his own protection, it would have been hell for him.
But that's what I'm saying is there's no situation where he'd be in a public prison where he wouldn't have ample amounts of protection because he has enough money on the outside to pay for it.
That's fucked up.
That's how prison works.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, you're surrounded by criminals, so
Yeah.
you'd think, oh, these criminals came here to get money, so if I offer them money, they're probably willing to commit more crime.
And that's the thing too you got to think about. So it's like whenever I was working in a prison, we would have we have guys from various gangs that are in different spots. These guys don't know each other at all, but they oh hey, like they have a mutual friend, or oh hey, like
They have the same tattoo, bro.
They have the same tattoo in the same gang. Like I got your back automatically. You don't have to pay them at all, but you could also be like, hey, like, because the prison I worked at, I know we had a dude who was like a fucking doctor at some point, had hella money,
Tax fraud or some
Yeah,
shit like that.
something like. If he needed protection, he one phone call, hey, put this money on his books.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's
all-
like, if you
that's
have the
all it
legal
takes.
money and you're in a public prison, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. It's the private prison that fucked him. Because it's like, they were able to restrict him from seeing anybody. He was by himself.
Well, what I'm saying
no
is that's a
cells
better
on either
case
side.
scenario than being in a private prison
Oh no,
where he
that's what
doesn't
I'm
get
saying.
access to what he
Yeah,
wants.
no, that's what I'm saying. Is if he was in a private prison, or if he was in a public prison,
Like if
Jeffrey
they let
Epstein
him
would
live
still
to
be alive.
trial and then just put him in a prison for the rest of his life and just tortured him, that would have been what would have came. Like if he actually lived to trial.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I don't even think they would have tortured him. I think he would have lived pretty leisurely throughout prison.
I don't in like a free prison, but if he stayed in like a federal prison, I'm saying there'd be some people in higher up places that would want him to suffer if he lived past trial.
Yes, but generally speaking, with federal prisons, he's not going to. He didn't commit any violent crimes that they could absolutely prove. At most, he was a call man. So they're not going to consider him a danger
What's the
to
thing too is that
society.
they would keep those people like that in isolation because you got to think like one of the last Illinois governors, Rob Willovich, went to federal prison. They
Yeah.
like you can't even look up to see where he's at. Like I think eventually he got like leaked where he was at after he was there for a while, but like he's by himself, like he's away from other people.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything crazy besides I don't know what the fuck.
It was drugs, right?
I think so. I don't know.
I think he was like just buying drugs. But
Just a shitty governor.
yeah, I think he also might have hit somebody with his car or something.
So did Michael Scott, but he didn't go.
He did. To be fair,
Britney,
he was
bitch.
paying that person.
Poor Meredith.
But I think we're going to wrap up this episode
Well,
here.
we still
Wrap
got
up that
we still got a
sticky.
few minutes.
Well, I
because
still
it
have
is
to do the ad reads.
Oh yeah.
So, as always, we would like to thank Rogue Energy for powering the podcast. You can use code GameNight on Rogue Energy to save yourself 10%.
That's GAMENIGHT.
All one word.
All one word.
And you
Check
can
out.
save yourself 10% off any product you so choose. Personally, I would recommend either the watermelon or the cherry limeade, or if you want to try them all, go ahead and get yourself a starter pack, which now includes the hydration and extreme lines as well. So you'll get a literal
get a
taste of
shaker.
everything, and you get a shaker for $9.99.
There's also a couple of new shakers that they've released. Since,
Yeah, absolutely.
So check those out.
Make sure to tweet at Rogue and let them know that we sent you there. Give us those brownie points. We always love that. Increase our return on sales.
It needs to
We
say,
like
"Hey,"
that.
and I quote, "Hey, at Rogue Energy. I bought Rogue because the Game Night Podcast, that is probably one of the best podcasts
the best
on
YouTube podcast on the platform.
on the platform.
Top 3.
Fuck you, Logan Paul. Fuck you, David Dobrik.
They sent us over, and your shit is delicious. So
But still buy me a Tesla.
yeah,
And also, again, like I said in the last episode, a big old thank you to Cali Bars, who is paying us to promote this over this trip to Seattle. As I said in the last episode, it is a good alternative to nicotine replacement if you want something that's both flavorful and fun. We do not recommend it if you do not already have a nicotine addiction, because, you know, bad habits die hard, and that's not something you want to start. But if you're smoking cigarettes, you know, I guarantee you your significant other will want to kiss you more rather than with a fucking mouthful of ash. So, you know, make sure to go to calibar.com in the link below to support us. We really appreciate it, and a big thank you to Calibar once again. We appreciate the opportunity to support the brand. But
Also, just in general, watching the Game Night Podcast makes your significant other want to kiss you more.
yeah, if you watch the GameNight Podcast, your dick will get bigger, and your significant other will want to suck your cock.
Like if your girl's going through your phone, you have Game Night Podcast episodes downloaded. She's like, wow, I might fuck him tonight.
Not even might, she will. For every episode, you will get an orgasm. 100%.
He can do it in the butt tonight.
Yeah,
I think he's deserved it. Good taste.
The GameNight Podcast ensures anal. That is something I can guarantee.
And this is episode 16, so do that.
Use
them wisely.
Use them wisely.
Every episode is another ticket to free.
it's like get out of jail free coupons,
But it's get into ass.
but it's
free.
get into ass free coupons.
It's a good card to draw in Monopoly. I'll say the least.
Am I right, Ant?
But we're gonna get on out of here. Thank you so much for watching another episode. It really means the world to us. Make sure to go out and do something you love with your day, and we are going to get on out of here. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.